Opera Essence, 100% freshly squeezed opera juice, is an Opera a Colori podcast, giving you everything you need to know to help you enjoy the world's finest operas. In this episode, we explore the plot of Turandot by Giacomo Puccini. Act 1. In a distant and unknown time long ago, the population of China was forced to live by a terrible regime. Whosoever desired to wed the Princess Turandot, daughter of the Emperor Altum, was required to solve 3 riddles. If they were not able to answer correctly, they would be sentenced to death and beheaded. Called to gather within the palace grounds by the Mandarino, the people are ready to watch the newest victim at his execution. The condemned man is the young and audacious Prince of Persia, and the sentence will be carried out at the rising of the moon. The crowd reacts with tumultuous agitation. All of a sudden, an old man is pushed into the throng. He falls to the ground, and his young companion, the slave girl Liu, calls for someone to come forward and help them. A man approaches them. The stranger, who is in fact Calaf, the Prince of Tartary, has recognized the old man to be his father, Timur, the deposed and exiled king of Tartary, whom he believed to have gone missing. In the meantime, the aggressive crowd has mellowed, as a smooth and taciturn pale face of the moon is about to emerge, and the Prince of Persia is led by the guards into the palace. From the balcony, Turandot appears to observe the execution of the young man, even though the crowds beg her to pardon him. One glance of her is sufficient for the unknown prince to fall deeply in love with the princess. Liu's pleading, the prayers of the old man, as well as the words of caution from 3 court dignitaries, Ping, Pong and Pang, who all attempt to dissuade him from accepting the challenge, are rendered worthless and to no avail, as they fall on deaf ears. As soon as the execution has taken place, the prince runs to an enormous gong and hits it 3 times, which is his signal to accept the challenge. The following day, he will have to submit himself to the riddles in order to win the hand of Turandot. Act 2. Night has fallen over Peking, and all is silent. In a palace room, Ping, Pong and Pang are busy at work. The 3 dignitaries must prepare themselves for the rite of the enigmas the next day. They are reminded of all the suitors who have lost their lives and hope that soon someone will be capable of solving the riddles. The following day, the palace is a hive of activity. The Emperor Altum enters the court and advises the foreign prince to desist, but he responds even more decisively than before. Turandot makes her entrance and explains her reasons which compel her to so obstinately refuse to unite herself in marriage without assessing the character of her suitors. More than 1,000 years prior, one of her ancestors, the Princess Laoling, was kidnapped by the Prince of Tartary during the Tartar occupation of the kingdom and had consequently lost her life. For that reason, Turandot vowed to deny herself to any man. The moment of the enigmas arrives, but to everyone's surprise, this time the outcome is very much different, because the unknown prince is able to solve one after the other all 3 riddles. Petrified, Turandot begs her father to prevent the union, but the emperor refuses to disobey the law. However, the unknown prince will not proceed to marry the woman against her will, and so he proposes his own enigma to her. If, by sunrise, Turandot is able to discover his name, she will be freed from the oath, and he will accept his execution. Act 3. A sleepless sleepless night awaits the entire population of Peking. Turandot has ordered that all of her subjects remain awake in search of the name of the foreign prince. He, in the meantime, can taste the victory that will be his at sunrise, when he himself will announce his name to the princess. Suddenly, the people run into the palace, dragging with them Liu and Timur, the only two people who know the sought-for name. The princess arrives and orders for the guards to torture the young servant girl until she reveals the secret. Liu refuses to give in, confessing her love for the prince, and rather than betray him, she stabs herself with a dagger. As she utters her last words, she prophesies to Turandot that before the sun rises, she too will be won over by love. Left alone with the prince, Turandot, who has attempted to hide her true feelings for him, reveals that she had fallen in love with him from the very first moment she saw him. The prince can now tell her his real name, Calaf. Turandot now knows the answer to the last clue and has the power to decide his fate. She calls the people to gather and declares that she has discovered the mysterious prince's name. His name is that of the higher power that has overcome her. His name is love. Now you're familiar with the storyline, why don't you listen to our 5 Fun Facts podcast to find out more interesting features surrounding this opera? And now, the house lights are dimmed. It's time to enjoy the show. Opera Essence, 100% freshly squeezed opera juice, is an opera a colori production. This episode was written by Tommaso Quanilli, produced by Selena Bellomi and Ivo Rizzi, and presented by Felicity Murphy. Follow us on our social media pages at Opera a Colori.